Hello everyone, my name is Kill Chicken. I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing all of the LEGO 2018 Infinity War LEGO sets. Now, I'm going to be reviewing all of them instead of doing one video for each set. So we're basically just going to be briefly taking a look at each set and its minifigures, and we're going to be going from smallest to largest, and I think that's pretty much it. So let's get into this. Alright, so starting us off with this group, we have the Outrider Dropship Attack. It costs the typical battle pack cost of $14.99, and it has 124 pieces, which is not exactly on part to price ratio, not the best, but it's okay. It's kind of hard to get 150 pieces in when you're trying to make a smaller sized set, but I do believe that the minifigures that you get do make up for some of the lack of parts. As you can see, we have detailed the actual cinematic Thanos on the front. On the back we have the LEGO version. As you can see, it opens up, revealing the Outriders, and has a few stud shooters and includes the Space Stone. So, have this pre-built. Here it is. This is the dropship. So, I'll just be taking a look at the build, and then we can take a closer look at the minifigures. As you can see, this is a very sized down version of what we had in the movie, but it's okay. I'm glad that we actually got the vehicle. As you can see, there's a little bit of weathering on the side, at least pretty sure that's what that's supposed to be, unless it actually is supposed to be a alien design, but I do like how it starts with brick, kind of has a sticker detail, and then ends with the brick. Really like that detail. As you can see, it's like an aqua color, which is not used that often in LEGO, so it's kind of nice to have that. As you can see, there's a red translucent grill piece, and that is used to represent the thruster, which this is supposed to go forward like this. There's a few fins on the back, and it has some of the kind of weathering aqua sticker color on it. And as you can see on the front, they have the typical handheld stud shooters. LEGO likes to add that to a lot of their ships, so as you can see, it just shoots out like that, and then your stud is gone forever. But LEGO being thoughtful, of course, they gave us an extra piece. I do really like this color of orange. It's a little bit more vibrant and kind of a colorfulier orange than the typical orange that they use. It's a little bit different. You can kind of tell a little bit of a difference, but I do like this color a lot better. Looks more alien and colorful. So it opens up like you saw in the box. Both of these wings go down, and these screens come down. I do feel like we got a lot more than what the piece count showed. It's actually kind of a heavy kind of battle pack build. I do love how they included these cool blue screens in such a cheap set. Then you can see there's some little spaces for the Outriders to stand. As you can see, they're using these kind of footprint places. LEGO's starting to use that a lot more for their vehicles instead of making the characters stand on studs, so it's a lot easier to get the minifigure in and out. And as you can see, at the front of the ship, they have a little bit of a suggested place for where there's targeting and control panel. Looks like right there's a Black Panther right there. So this is, of course, supposed to be whenever they are in Wakanda. Right here, they have the Space Stone on their little golden modified stud piece. So, of course, this is not technically accurate to the film. They did not actually have the Space Stone in one of these dropships. So now that we've taken a pretty close look at this set, we can go ahead and take a closer look at the minifigures and then move on. And starting us off with the minifigures for the set, we have the main protagonist, which is Steve Rogers, aka Captain America. As you can see, they did update his torso print from the last time we saw. He's got the darkened out star and a little bit more of a rough looking color in the front. On the back, it's pretty much the same. It's a little bit different, but it looks really similar. And as you can see, they use these kind of Wolverine-looking claws. I know they used that in some Ninjago sets a long time ago in Prince of Persia. That was used for one of the assassin people, but it's pretty disappointing that they didn't give him a new mold for his special Wakandan shields, because, you know, they're white and black, and this is a silver Wolverine claw. So that was kind of disappointing to see that they didn't take the chance to make a new mold would have been really cool. As you can see, he's got the bearded face now, and removing his hair, you can see that the beard actually travels up his head, which is pretty cool. His alternate face is a little bit more of a grin, a more confident look on his face. This one's a little bit more grumpy, and I'm ready to fight some bad guys kind of look. So, I think that's pretty much it. He doesn't have any leg print, which is typical. He didn't have very much going on in his legs. So we can move on to the next minifigure. And coming up next, we have the Black Widow, and this is a pretty good looking one. They finally got a good print for the face, and oh wait, that's Jen Erso's face. It turns out they probably gave up on trying to print her a good face to fit her character and just reused one from another person, which is okay. It does look pretty good. It doesn't look too much like Jen Erso whenever she has her blonde hair piece on, but, you know, it's kind of disappointing whenever they can't make a face to look like the actor or the actress. And moving down, you see we have a kind of sand green colored torso, which is not exactly accurate. Like I believe I mentioned before in some of my other set reviews, is that LEGO bases their minifigures and sets off of concept art. So they probably just saw a picture of her with the sand green vest instead of the darker green vest. So that's probably what was going on there. Taking a look at the back, she has a little bit of a backpack looking thing on. And I do love the metallic prints that LEGO puts on their minifigures. And completely opposite to Captain America, she does have leg prints, which looks pretty good. She's got a couple straps on it. Just some nice detail. So, yeah. I think her hair was a little bit more of a whitish color or a gold color. They used a really yellowy yellow color, so I don't know if they could have changed that at all, but, you know, it's okay. Then, to simulate her kind of electric taser sticks, they use these just lightsaber blades, which is okay. I'm okay with that. I don't really know what they could have done to change it, so it's fine. So let's move on to the next minifigure. And this is an Outrider. This has 6 arms, which is not exactly accurate. They're supposed to have 4 arms. And, well, LEGO just decided to use this new molded piece that they made, and it's okay. They're supposed to be alien beasts, so, you know, they're ugly and hideous. So, yeah, you could just remove these 2 bottom ones if you wanted to, and then you've got a 4-armed Outrider, but I'm not going to because I like to build things the way that the set intended it to be. As you can see, they've got a nice golden print on the front, a metallic gold print, and as you can see, he's got the demonic mouth right there, and he does have printing on the back of his head. There's a couple of kind of scale-looking things on the back of his head with the metallic gold. Also on the back, he does have some pretty detailed print, which is a kind of a shame that they covered it up with the new arm mold thing. So that is a pretty good print on the back, metallic gold and the gray prints. So this is a pretty good minifigure. You get 2 of them, by the way. 2 of the same. They're basically clones of each other. So it's a pretty nice set with pretty nice minifigures. We can go ahead and move on to the next set now that we've reviewed this one. Moving on, we have a little bit of a bigger set. This is the Thor's Weapon Quest set. It contains 223 pieces and retails for $19.99, so a pretty good piece-to-part ratio. As you can see, it contains a Thor minifigure, Teenage Groot, and Rocket Raccoon. The box art is pretty much the same. Got the actual size coming around. As you can see, the cockpit opens for you to put your minifigure in and out. There's a little bit of a machine over here that you can put Thor's weapon in. And it includes the Power Stone. So let's get into this set. Alright, so here we have it all built up. It's a pretty good looking build, except for some of the Technic pins and axles exposed in the back. I really love the kind of clay bluish gray color. It reminds me of the clay in Minecraft. And I love how the sticker detail blends in with the bricks, how it starts out gray with the bricks, and then the stickers kind of get it to go into the dark bluish gray. As you can see, as always, purple studs on the top, which is kind of funny because they give you stud shooters even though there are no bad guys to shoot it at, which it's okay because this is basically built to connect onto the Milano set, which has Thanos in it. So I guess that's where you're supposed to get your bad guy. Up here you can see they are using the silver gold bars, silver bars, as some of the detail up here. As you can see, I really like the bluish and orangish blend together. It's a really good color. I like how this set is the bluish and is more blue than orange and has a little bit of orange, and then the Milano is orange and has a little bit of the blue. As you can see, it opens up and you can put your minifigures in. You can either do it that way or you can open it up at the top. So that's kind of nice. You can also open it up at the back. So there are a lot of ways to open this up to get to the interior. The way you can put your minifigure in is right up front, and they don't really have any controls except for these little modified stud pieces, which is okay because it's going to be kind of hard to fit any levers or any kind of control things into Rocket Raccoon's hands. We can remove the figures so we can take a closer look. As you can see on the inside, they have some of these like translucent green pieces, and then on this side they have red. I kind of liked how they had a different, they had some diverse colors in there. And they've got a few spaces. You can fit Thor right here, Groot right here, and Rocket Raccoon up in the front. They make good use of this kind of old piece they used in Ultra Agents for shields. They made a good use of that for the curve on the bottom of the ship. They also have some slanted grill pieces, which also look pretty good. I like these purple lights right here. And yeah, that's pretty much it with this. It's a pretty good build. It's just a fun little spaceship. So we can move on to the other build of the set. Right here, this is basically where Thor's weapon comes from, which is not exactly accurate to the film. Don't want to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen it yet. But, you know, it's a very simplified version of what's supposed to happen. This slides open, you can put the hammer inside, and then you can use the power blast to make it look like Thor is blasting it. They have two of the smaller blast versions, and you get two of these handle pieces for your character to hold, and then one of these smaller splat pieces, a large splat piece, and then two of these beam pieces, which are both used for this build. Then, basically what you're supposed to do with this build is it's supposed to look like Thor is charging up this big machine to help create the weapon. As you can see, they have a very small play feature with a little bit of this. You're supposed to spin that around to make it look like it's working on making the axe. So it's a pretty good looking thing. I feel like it should have gotten its own mold because it had a really significant look in the movie, and I feel like this axe piece just seems a little bit too big, and the hammer piece was had a little bit more slants on it instead of a square look. So they could have done better with it, but I feel like they did a good job at using the pieces that they had to make a pretty good looking axe. At the back, here they have the Power Stone, which is not technically supposed to be on the back of this little machine. But, you know, they just wanted to sneak in one stone for each set. So, it's okay. So now that we're done looking at both parts of the set, we can go ahead and head into the minifigures. And looking at the first good guy of this set is Thor, son of Odin. And again, he suffered from concept art. You can see these little blue circles on his chest, kind of representing the comic booky look of him, and those aren't technically accurate to the film because of the concept art that LEGO had to look at. He's actually supposed to be wearing the same clothes that he wore in Thor Ragnarok. He still has kind of the chest plate from the arena. As you can see, he's got a little bit of detail on the back. I like how they use kind of a metallic print at the rim of these circles. And some of you might think that he's supposed to be missing an eye, but actually, spoiler, he gets another eye. So, when I first saw this, I was mad because he's supposed to have a patch, and I was kind of wanting to get a Thor with a patch, but then I figured out after watching the movie that he's actually supposed to have an eye. They used this kind of medium nougat color hair for his, the spiked hair version, which I think looks really good. He didn't have that much hair, but it's okay. They don't have a really smaller hair mold for that, so I think it looks pretty good. And as I showed, he has this axe as an accessory. And moving on, we have Rocket Raccoon, and he's got this big blaster piece with just a little nougat color cylinder stuck on the end, and this is probably like his 4th or 5th gun that they've given him. So I like his gun. pretty cool. And here he is. He's got his little tailpiece, just like the previous ones that we've gotten. I wish they'd give him a different face print than what we had in Guardians of the Galaxy, instead of just copying and pasting the same Rocket Raccoon and putting it in this set. So that's pretty much all with him. He's got his blue short legs. And we can move on to the next minifigure. And here is Teenage Groot. I love this minifigure. It's the only Groot character I have, except for the fact that the color of him is not exactly accurate. He's supposed to be a bit more of a tan color instead of solid reddish brown. They did give him a little bit of greenery around the edges, which was nice. And I really love this mold for his head. I like how they didn't just go and use something related to the Darth Maul, where you just stick something on a Lego head. I like how they just made an entire new mold for this. As you can see, he has no arm or leg printing, which is fine. He's just a big tree man. But it would have been cool to have some leg printing. As you can see on the back, you've got a little bit of his spine right here and some more greenery. And overall, this is a pretty good looking minifigure. He comes with this little branch piece for whenever you're fighting Outriders and you want to smack them with a branch. So that's basically what he has. And it's a pretty good looking minifigure. We can move on to the next set. Whoa. And coming up next, we have the Hulkbuster Smash Up. This is a great set, one of my favorites in this wave. As you can see, we have Banner, Falcon, Proxima Midnight, and an Outrider. Great getting another one of these to build an army. And this is a pretty great set. It has 375 pieces and retails for $30. So the price to part ratio is spot on, or above spot on, and that's just awesome to see. As you can see, this comes with the Soul Stone, and box art's exactly the same. We can go ahead and take a look at it. Alright, so now it's all built up. You can see that it is the Hulkbuster suit, of course, and over here there's this little tower that's just there to add to some of the piece count and a little bit of extra playability. So let's remove the minifigures so we can take a closer look at the builds. And first off, we have the Hulkbuster armor, which I'm very happy that they made this, because if you didn't want to have to get the UCS Hulkbuster, but you did want a better looking Hulkbuster from the last time, then this is definitely your set. As you can see, they're using the newer curved arm pad pieces that they used for the Stormtroopers. He actually has some toes that have a little bit of articulation, so that's a really fun detail. As you can see, he has a lot of posability with the legs, his feet move around too, and he actually does have a little bit of a function over here, and that plays into the function right here. As you can see, this is just a ball shoot, which is fun to get because that's not in a lot of sets. But anyway, what you can do with this fist is they make it so you can swing it and knock it down, and now it's basically disabled. And if you don't want the arm to be kind of flimsy and just hanging to the side, and you want it to be more posable and stiff and sturdy like this left arm, they actually encourage you at the end of the instruction book to take this off. You can remove this little disc piece, put this on, and the studs fit into the back, making it more stiff and sturdy, so it's more posable. And I just knock pieces off. Hang on a second. As you can see, Bruce Banner is in there. So yeah, now both arms are both fully posable and do not get thrown around, and are more reliable to stay in the position that you wanted it to be in. And the front part does open up to reveal the driver, which is Bruce Banner instead of Iron Man like in the last time. So, as I said, with the Outrider dropship, they are using this kind of little piece. Don't know how to explain that, but it fits in where you can put the feet there, and it kind of just holds the character in place. I really like that a lot better. It's very nice, a little bit more smooth the way you put it in and take it out. So yeah, this is a pretty good upgrade compared to last time's Hulkbuster. Taking a little bit of a closer look at this tower, as you can see, they have the Nexo Knights shield piece. They're starting to use that a lot more in different sets than the Next Night series, which is actually stopped, I think. And back here, they have the Soul Stone, which again, not accurate to the film. This entire turret is actually not even accurate to the film. And yeah, they have it so that this gets knocked down. It just sticks up on both of those studs. It's a cool looking turret. They've got kind of the fins right here. I love the use of the gunmetal gray here. And they're actually suggesting that an outrider is piloting this little turret, but these things are like mindless demon dogs. They don't know anything about driving machines, so that's not exactly accurate. We can take a closer look at the minifigures now. Alright, so taking a closer look at the minifigures, to start us off we have Bruce Banner, and this is a copy and paste from the Thor Ragnarok Bruce Banner that we got. And that's kind of frustrating because that's not exactly accurate, because the clothes he was wearing in Thor Ragnarok got torn off whenever he went to fight the big wolf. So, yeah, a little bit of a mistake there. Of course, sometimes LEGO can't afford to make a new minifigure every single time. So, yeah, as you can see, he's wearing the black jacket and the black pants. No printing on the legs, but some pretty good printing on the torso to show some strings, some pockets. So, yeah, pretty good. The front of his face, he has kind of just content, pleasant look. The other side is a grimace, green eyes. He's looking pretty angry, irritated, whatever you want to say. So that's pretty much it with this character. He's a little bit plain, but it's pretty good for Bruce Banner. As you can see, the second good guy is the Falcon, and he's decked up with these brick-built wings, unlike what we got for Civil War. I'm actually kind of liking these. I love the articulation you're able to have with these wings, how he's able to kind of guard his body. I like that a lot better than what we had before. It kind of reminds me of the Vulture that we got from Spider-Man Homecoming. He's got some pretty good torso print. The stickers go pretty good on these bricks. Again, they have a little bit of a suggestion for a red wing. He's just a few pieces thrown together that sticks right on his back. So, yeah, it's hard to do a lot little small scale things with big Lego pieces. So, yeah, it looks pretty good. Taking the head off, you see, take a closer look at the torso print. So, here we are. Got a nice pack on the back. I believe that's where his wings, that's a suggestion for where his wings are supposed to go. Nice metallic print. I always love the metallic. And you can see he's wearing goggles. Alternate face is a little bit of a smile. And yeah, it's a pretty good minifigure. No leg prints, but that's okay. It doesn't have very much going on down there. And an Outrider. Yes, great to get a lot of these. Great for army building. And yeah, pretty much the same that you saw before. And one of the children of Thanos, one of the more important characters in this set, Proxima Midnight. She's got her cool black spear, which, if I were the designer of this, I probably would have put 2 ninja size on the ends instead of just this kind of monster tooth piece. But I don't know, that's just my suggestion. This is a pretty accurate character to the movie, except for the fact that everything should be a little bit darker. Her clothes not that white, and the gold is a little bit more worn, so she looks a little bit too bright to be the bad guy. So yeah, she's got this nice, really nice hair piece, the blue, and then has the kind of the horn sticking out. As you can see, that's her angry face coming around. This is her more confident, happy, evil grin face. Again, not any leg print, but that's okay because there's not very much going on down there. So I think that's ends out this set, and we can go ahead and move on to the next one. And here we are with Corvus Glaive Thresher Attack, and this is, of course, the battle they had with all the Outriders that took place in the wizarding world of Wakanda. And as you can see, this includes, of course, Corvus Glaive and Vision, Black Panther, Shuri, and one more Outrider. So, as you can see, this is just supposed to represent a big wall that's around the city of Wakanda, and we have a little Thresher right there heading for the wall. This set retails for $39.99 and includes 416 pieces, so again, a pretty good price per part ratio. You're going to be seeing that a lot in this bunch of LEGO sets, so yeah. box art is the same, with Thanos on the front and back. And as you can see, this set includes the Vision Stone, the Mind Stone, the Mind Stone. And as you can see, there's just a little bit of lab in here, some disc shooters, a launching thresher, and a gate opening. So this looks like a cool set, and let's get into this. Alright, so here is the Corvus Glaive Thresher attack, and I gotta say this is probably one of the less awesome sets. Definitely not one of the favorites of the series, and that's probably because this was never actually in the movie. You never really saw a big wall where you had the Outriders and the Threshers attacking it. So yeah, this is probably a little bit less on the list of awesome sets in this series, but anyways, let's just go ahead and take a look at it. As you can see, it's just a pretty big tower with a little bit of a wall coming out to the side. You can remove the minifigures so that they're not at all a distraction. And they made some really nice detail with these golden staff pieces. And as you can see, they do hint some more growth. So if you were to get multiple of this set, you would be able to extend the build. As you can see, there's a little peg hole right there. It might be hard to see here. Yeah, there it is. So there's a hole right there that you can put the light gray peg into. So if you were to get multiple of these sets, as you can see, the base is sand, and you've got a little bit of greenery coming on the side. There's a little bit of a new leaf piece right there, and this right here has the ability to bend, so if you want your wall to be at a little bit more of an angle. And as you can see, there's some nice stickered purple windows and gates right here. This is a gate. If you press right here, that is lifted up, and we've got some what look like hieroglyphics, only this is African, not Egyptian. So we've got some African dialect right there, and just the tower up here, we've got some more of that gunmetal gray metallic pieces. I really like that. This can go up, and it's supposed to be down, I think, and you can blast the studs as always, and then you lose them forever. And as you can see right here, they do have a place for you to put your minifigures. Very small space, but it's enough to fit some people. Coming on the inside, you can see that this gate leads into this lab, and this lab is where they have Vision, and he's being kept to have some operation, perhaps to remove the Mind Stone from his face. And yes, there it is right there. And this is probably one of the most accurate places that they've put a Infinity Stone. As you can see, there's a little bit of a chair with a screen that has the Outrider dropship right there, so kind of a reference to the set that we just saw, and a screen with the Mind Stone on it. And kind of just a little play feature that they do with the Thresher. You can see there's a little bit of a target right here, and this is the Thresher launcher, which you push down on, and it knocks the target, and it kind of disrupts the Vision's operation. Maybe we can get him to fly out. One thing I don't really like about this launcher is how they have that big red button. I could have done with maybe a brown or a gray, but they made a really noticeable red button, which I could have done without. So let's try this again. Ah, there we go. Kind of to disrupt Vision's operation, but of course the heroes are not lacking a little bit of a way to protect themselves. Over here, there's a little bit of a button right under Shuri's seat, and if you press on it, it launches a disc. And discs are probably one of my favorite things to launch in LEGO. Alright, and starting us off with the minifigures, we have one of the probably agreed most important minifigures in this set. This is Vision, and he is basically a copy and paste of the Vision that we got in the tanker truck takedown from Civil War, and I think that's this version. The first version was from the Ultron set, which was not an accurate version of him because they had kind of a bluer color for the stone, so this is the more updated recent version. As you can see, he's got a lot of detail on his torso and legs. I'm pretty happy for, and even a lot of detail on the face. He's got purple eyes, which is a cool little inclusion. He's got the more fabric-y kind of soft cape, and he's got a little bit of detail on the back, and on the back of his torso there's a little bit of gold, metallic gold right there for where his cape is supposed to be. So they really paid attention to detail on this minifigure, so I really appreciate that. And if you did not care too much for the Black Panther sets, but still wanted to get your hands on a newer Black Panther minifigure, this is your set. As you can see, it does indeed come with the Black Panther minifigure, and he has the extremely detailed torso print with the tiny little pixels, which I really love the detail that they put on this. It's one of those things that you have to look really close for, kind of like what we saw on the Ghost in my Ant-Man and the Wasp set review. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. And you can see the teeth necklace is a metallic silver, and I really like that. As you can see on his face, he uses more of the gunmetal and metallic silver prints, and you can see his eyes. And up on the top, they use that new Black Panther piece, which is kind of reminding me of the Darth Maul headpiece. So coming around on the back, still pretty detailed with the pixels and stuff and the metallic print, and as you can see, the metallic silver on the back of his head. So this is a pretty detailed minifigure, except for the lacking on the legs, but for what they do on the torso, I think it makes up. Alright, and one of my favorite minifigures in this set is Shuri, and that hairpiece is just amazing. They definitely paid attention to detail. As you can see, they got all the little braids in there, and it's just so amazing how well they did that hairpiece. This is an exclusive hairpiece for this character, and she does have an alternate face. Right now, she's got the confident smirk, and the alternate face is the angry, I'm ready to do battle face. As you can see, she has an orange shirt with kind of a flap on the front. Don't know if if her clothing is accurate to the movie. I guess so, but it's been a while since I've seen it, so I guess I'll just have to wait and see it again. And as you can see, they do have some detail on the back. And she is sporting her Soundwave handguns, which sadly did not get their own mold. I feel like they were pretty significant, how they looked kind of like Panther heads. How I feel like it should have deserved its very own mold. And I think that's pretty much with this character. We can move on. This is the main baddie, Corvus Glaive, another one of the children of Thanos, and he is sporting this humongous spear, which you probably saw in the trailer and in the movie, which I think they did a pretty good job at duplicating this into Lego form, except for the fact for how long it is. If you were to stand it up and down, it's like twice as tall as he is. So I don't know how they could have done that better, but yeah, it looks pretty good. So as you can see, he's got the kind of the torn up papery style cape on his back, and he's got this black Darth Maul kind of hood. And as you can see, here's his face. Alternate face is a smile. The faces don't look that different, actually. He's kind of frowning in both of them, and then has a smile on one. So it's kind of funny. So yeah, there's the alternate face. I feel like he should have gotten a mold for his very own mold for this hood, because he did kind of have a little bit of horns, kind of like Proxima Midnight did, but I guess this is okay. As you can see, his entire body is the gunmetal gray, and I just love that color. This reminds me of Balatik from the Lego Star Wars Rathtar Escape. He had gunmetal gray torso and legs. As you can see on the front, there's a little bit of representation of cloth right here with some holes in it, and he does have metallic gold on print on his front, and on the back still has some of that good printing, metallic gold. And yeah, that's pretty much all with this character. He's a pretty great character. I really like him. Outrider, yeah, that's what this is, and that's all I have to say about him. Alright, and coming up next we have a slightly larger set. This is Thanos Ultimate Battle. It retails for $69.99 and includes 674 pieces, so the price per part ratio is a little off, but considering the big pieces that you get and the big fig that you get, I think it makes up. So as you can see, box art's the same. The minifigures included are Iron Man, Gamora, Star-Lord, and Thanos, if you count him as a minifigure. Big fig, whatever you want to call him. As you can see, it does include power bursts and blast and splat pieces for Iron Man. It does include the Infinity Gauntlet, so this is kind of a crucial set to get. It does connect to the 76102 Thor's Weapon Quest, and yeah, it looks like there's a little bit of an escape right here, and this comes with the Reality Stone. So yes, this is definitely a set you want to get. Here is the Thanos Ultimate Battle set all built up. As you can see, it is just the other version of the Milano in its orange and gray color, which looks really nice. This is definitely one of my favorite sets in this series. As you can see, unlike the Thor's Weapon Quest, this has the base of an orange and then has a little bit of gray in the grayish blue color. I'm going to remove the big fig and the minifigures, and we'll take a closer look at them later. And I'll leave them in there. Alright, so as you can see, they've got this kind of beak-looking front. These things, I believe, are supposed to represent eyes. And they've got this really cool screen, a printed screen in the front. I'm very happy that that wasn't a sticker. That would have been almost impossible to put on. But as you can see, this opens up. And then also, this opens up, revealing the little escape pod. As you can see, it comes with 2 swords for Gamora and 2 blasters for Star-Lord, and they sit on this little thing. That ball joint connects to a piece back there, and it slides nicely in and pops right back in. They have these really nice purple studs and cheese slopes scattered around just to add a little bit more of detail to the set. They've got kind of the feathered looking fins on the back here. The back is not very pretty. There's a lot of anti-studs and studs exposed, but it's okay because if you get Thor's Weapon Quest, you're going to be able to cover most of that up with the escape pod. Taking a closer look, you can see that there are some sticker details. There weren't a lot of stickers in this set, which I was pretty happy to see, but they do give you enough to make it a good looking set. As you can see, there's this back hatch, and if you pull this forward, it opens up, revealing the Infinity Gauntlet. Also, these are able to come up, and this is actually able to be popped off. So there is a jumper plate right there, suggesting that you're supposed to put the Infinity Gauntlet on. As you can see, there's the Reality Stone on it. There's a little bit of space in there. That would be assuming that you have Drax and Mantis. I believe that's what those 2 seats are supposed to be for. Just sticking that back in there. So this is a pretty good looking set. I love the feathers and just the detail they really paid attention to. This was a very fun set to put together. I also love the detail that they put on the bottom of the Milano. They do have some of those smooth pieces right there, so the front doesn't get scraped if you're kind of sliding it along. So the way that you're able to connect the Thor's Weapon Quest over here is you basically turn it around, pull these 2 things up, and then these 3 flat pieces, close that, and there are some stud holes down there, which kind of link up with this, not stud holes, peg holes, which kind of link up with this peg and these axles, and it basically just goes right on. Yep, that's on. Okay, so the kind of fin on the top goes into it here, then you flap these things down, and then kind of give it more support. You push these things down, and the studs go on, and now you've got the entire ship complete with its escape pod. You can also move these things in if you want. So there it is. Now it is a complete Milano. So yeah, it's a pretty great set. I love the detail they put into it. really good looking. Now we can move on and take a closer look at the minifigures. Alright, so starting off with a lot of people's favorite superhero, this is Iron Man. Alright, gotta remove those. He is completely decked up with Power Blast, Splurt, Zap pieces, and it looks amazing. They gave him these awesome buildable wings using this special back attachment piece. And I think it looks really good, especially when they added in those Power Blast pieces. So just if you want to get a closer look at the minifigure, we can remove these wings. Taking kind of a close look, there's some sticker detail that you had to add on. So I really love the use of this back piece that they used for the Outriders. So that's a really nice buildable piece. So here is Iron Man. As you can see on his chest, he has some nice metallic prints, which I always love. He's got his little core reactor right there. They also include 2 of these little pieces, which you're able to stick on his hands if you wanted to make it look like he's coming into a punch and is about to hit someone with his full power. So those are a fun inclusion. And if you open up, he actually has a new print for the face, which I'm liking a lot better than the other one. And if you actually turn this around, they have the HUD, which is really great. I love this I love this alternate face. It's really great if you're making a stop motion and you want to make it close up to his face where he has all of his little technological things there. So as you can see, he has blue eyes and a little bit of print on the top. He has a lot of nice detail on the legs and even on the toes. And on the back, he does still have some metallic prints with a little bit of core reactor things on his back. So this is a really great Iron Man suit. It's a major improvement from the very first suit that they gave us for the very first Avengers movie. And another pretty major character, this is Star-Lord. As you can see, he's got his red jacket and his gray sweater underneath, and as you can see, he's got the metallic print for his belt, and he has 2 of these really awesome blasters, which we have gotten before. As you can see, they reused the face print that they used with all the other Guardians of the Galaxy sets, which was kind of a shame because he had a little bit more of a mustache, and I really kind of wish they used the face that they're using for the Jurassic World sets. He still has the same hairpiece, which is okay because he has the same hairstyle. This is his alternate face, which is more of a grimace, and he's ready to do some battle. As you can see, they have a little bit of print on the back, kind of the top of his jacket here and some of his jacket in the middle, and that's pretty much all with this minifigure. It doesn't have any print on the legs, which is okay because the next minifigure we're going to see is pretty decked up with prints. This is Gamora, and as you can see, she has both torso printing, face printing, and leg printing. You can see she has that metallic print on the face, which is such good detail. Let's see if you can see it a little better. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but she does have that metallic print on the face, which I really like. She has a little bit of a leather jacket on, and then over that it looks like a brown trench coat, which actually travels into the legs. She does have some straps on her legs, and then on the back, she does have an alternate face, which again is a grimace ready to do battle face. And as you can see, her back does have some print. It's kind of the brown trench coat. And she does have some print in the hair to make it look like her hair is dyed purple at the tips. The set does include 2 swords, but I'm pretty sure you're only supposed to give her 1. So I only gave her 1 here. And I think that's pretty much all with this minifigure. It's a pretty great minifigure to include in this set. And here we have the main character of this set. This is Thanos, and he is decked up in his helmet and arm pads, which some people didn't exactly like because they thought that they were just reusing the one mold that they used a long time ago for the superheroes kind of comic booky Thanos. But it turns out, in fact, that he actually did wear his helmet and his battle armor in the movie for like flashbacks and the beginning scene. So this wasn't all just a slack, but in the one scene that we're supposed to be focusing on in this part of the movie, he didn't have this. So it would have been nice to get kind of a Thanos without his arm pads and his helmet. As you can see, he does have a butter knife. It looks like he got a hold of one of the ski speeders from Star Wars and decided that he wanted a big sword. That's what's going on there. As you can see, they put a stud here just to cover up some of the blue. And as you can see, he has a torso print, but not very much leg print, which is kind of sad because he does have boots on. And 0 back print. So he's kind of lacking with prints, but it's okay considering some of the other prints that we got on the minifigures. So yeah, this is a pretty great big fig. I love it. It's really awesome. He looks great in big fig form, and he actually can put the Infinity Gauntlet on his arm. So if you just remove it from this little platform, which they do have some sticker detail on, just remove that, put that on, and now he's got his Infinity Gauntlet on, which is a great looking piece of work. I love it. He's not able to hold anything like he is with his normal hands, but that's okay. As you can see, they do have holes for where you can put the other Infinity Stones, and don't worry, I will be putting all the Infinity Stones on at the end of this video. So I think that's all with this set and its minifigures. We can go ahead and move on. And finally, the biggest set of the bunch, coming out at $99.99. This is the Sanctum Sanctorum Showdown. This thing includes 1,004 pieces, which is great with the price per part ratio, 10 cents a piece. This set includes Doctor Strange. This is his second appearance in a LEGO set. Iron Man, the exact same one that we just saw in the Milano. Iron Spider-Man for the first time. Cull Obsidian and Ebony Maw. As you can see, this is, of course, the Sanctum Sanctorum and Peter Parker's apartment hooked together. Alright, here it is, all built up. This is an amazing set. I love the amount of detail they put into it. So basically, I'm going to be starting at the bottom layer from outside in and just be working my way up. That's how I'm going to review this set. So of course, going to remove the minifigures. Alright, now that that's done, we can go ahead and get into the review. So starting at the bottom, as you can see, this is the first layer door. The doorway of the Sanctum Sanctorum, 177A Bleecker Street. This is the Sanctum Sanctorum, and as you can see, they kind of copied what the design that they used for the brick bank from the Modular Expert set, and I think it looks really good. I love that. I always wanted the brick bank, but I never got it, so I was really happy to see the same design used on the Sanctum Sanctorum. As you can see, they have little studs here and there for you to place your minifigure to make it look like he's flying around, or even put Spider-Man on to make it look like he's climbing up the wall. So, you know, that kind of stuff. And place the splat piece if you use the smaller one. So yeah, I love that kind of little thing that they slipped into this. As you can see, they have kind of suggested stairways leading up to the door, which swings open like that. There isn't a doorknob, sadly. I don't know why they didn't include that. But over, they do have a little street corner build. And as you can see, they do include a green trash can, which it's been a while since they've included one of these in a set. And a Marvel set, to be exact. As you can see, they have one single slice of pizza just laying on the ground. Looks like it missed the trash can. There's a little web splat right here with the phone stuck to it. As you can see, there is a mailbox with the prints of New York and Bulletin, and crime floods the street, New York and Bulletin. As you can see, it has just 3 of the same kind of newspapers on it. I love the detail that they put into this set. And coming around, we have Open Pepe's Pizza, and they got kind of this little colorful top on this window, which I love. These are transparent stickers, so you always had to be careful when putting those on that no air bubbles got stuck in it. And as you can see, coming around on the inside, they do have a little bit of sticker detail right here, Street 110, and a little bit of sling ring action, which I'll show you where that leads. But first, let's come into the inside of the set. As you can see, they do have a little bit of a chair here. It's a nice, comfortable looking chair. They use the car seat piece and then kind of built onto it to make it look more like a chair and not a car seat. As you can see, they do have a doorknob on this side, which is kind of funny. They have stairs leading down from here and a little bit of mystic artifacts. There's a gold sword. It looks kind of like a lamp. Not quite sure what that's supposed to be. And then a little bit of a scroll on the wall with a dialect that I'm not familiar with. They also have this axe on this side, and then coming on around to Pepe's Pizza Parlor, they have this brown thing. I'm pretty sure that's where they're supposed to have the dough, and yeah, I guess that makes sense. And they've got a full pizza right here, a little cash register, very small, and I think LEGO Superhero does like to slip in a little fire extinguisher in a lot of their sets. Over here they have the menu with one slice of pizza, $1, and a burrito? I think that's what that is. And what is that? Not exactly sure what that is, but yeah, they've got food on there and how much it costs. They've got a paddle here for putting the pizza into this furnace. And then they also do have a little bit of a action. You have to press a button on the outside and it blasts the window out. They've got a couple of those features in this. And we're on the outside again. As you can see, this is back to the front of the sanctum. And they have some nice pillar detail here. They've got some little, what look like handles, but I don't think you're supposed to hold on to those. Those look more like they're there for kind of a swirly design. As you can see, they have kind of what looks like a balcony there. It's kind of hard to fit a minifigure in there, so I don't know if you're supposed to, or if it's just kind of for the look. Yeah, it's kind of hard to fit a minifigure up there. So, not sure if that's just for show, or if it's actually supposed to be used. A little function on this side right here, as you can see, there's the Infinity Stone right there. So there's a little twisting thing, a knob that is on the inside, which you twist, and it blasts the window out, revealing the Time Stone. Coming around to the other side, this can actually fold together. This is Peter's apartment. There's a sticker, Bleecker Street, and as you can see, there's two nice windows. As you can see into Peter's room right here, and actually a little bit of an Easter egg from Spider-Man Homecoming. There is the glowy thing, the Chitauri grenade right there, so that's kind of a callback to that movie. These ladders can go down like that. Looks like a fire escape. And then coming on the inside, here is just the opposite of what we saw just a second ago. There's the sling ring. Yes, there's the sling ring action right there, Street 110, and that leads to Street 110. So I loved how they added that in there. That looks like kind of a radio right there, and a picture of the Ancient One. They have a spear and a staff, and then this box has a couple of daggers in it. Yep. And then one thing that caught my attention, they've got the mark of the dark dimension. Yeah, the dark dimension. Not sure what that means. Doctor Strange is going dark. As you can see, they do include this great little nano figure. It's a golden figure, and I love whenever they include those, because then you get an extra piece. So I did get an extra piece of that golden figure. This is basically just supposed to be a bookcase, so as you can see, they have some nice detail for a few books right there. And it's pretty much the same. Wait, no, they don't have one. Okay. We can head to the top. As you can see, it's one of the main parts of the sanctum where you have that cool design. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting, but yeah, you can see the printed design. You've got the New York sanctum picture design on it, and there's a couple of windows right here, which is kind of blocked by those two bookcases, so not quite sure why they added that there. Just a couple of things. They look like chimneys. I don't know if that's what that's supposed to be, but that's what they look like. Then they've got kind of a little bit of a fence right here. So it's a really well built, very nice looking outside, and the inside does have some detail. As you can see, they have a pile of unopened letters. Then they have another of those pieces of paper. They have two bookcases, one with books and a glass, another with a skeleton head and some books. I love the top of those bookcases. They look really nice. And then the candle, which is just like the candles we got from the previous Sanctum set that came out for the Doctor Strange movie. The top of Peter's apartment looks like this. You've got two more of these windows, and this window has some sticker detail on it to look like some web. As you can see, they do have some web up there, and I will demonstrate what that looks like. What you're supposed to do with that, you take your minifigure and you stick him up at the top. Again, they use that little foot holder right there. So yeah, once you get him up there, you take this very long string, which is representing the web, which I like how they use that instead of the one with the little handles on it. So then you take that, and then there's a button which you press, and you shoot your minifigure off, and they go all the way down. And then you've got kind of a water tower thing up here, and once you twist that, you can pull your minifigure back up. So I think that was a really nice little play feature. He kind of gets a little bit stuck with his big legs, but yeah, you can pull him back up, and it looks like he's climbing up the wall with his web. And then, moving to the inside of his apartment. Oh wait, hang on. There's this little web right here you push, and it blasts the window out, which leads to his bedroom. And on the inside, I think I forgot to show this part. As you can see, this is kind of his table with his computer. As you can see, it's the glowy thingy. There's this emptied can. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I think that's what he stored his web fluid in. That's just kind of a little idea. There's a keyboard right there, which is really nice print. There's a little print, a stickered 2x2 tile of his old suit. As you can see there, these 1x2 jumper plates are representing a drawer that you're supposed to pull out. He has a couple of books right here and a little lamp right here, which is kind of reminding me of the Pixar lamp that you see. There's a little bit of a doorway here and a box with Pete's stuff. That goes right back there. And then moving up, as you can see, there's his bed. He's got his pillow right there and his nice color of blue sheets. And then he's got one single slice of pizza at the foot of his bed. There's a doorway here, and again, we've got another function right here. So put him on, pull the lever, and he goes tumbling down. Up on the top, as you can see, here's the water tower where you twist the web. So I think that's pretty much it with this set. We can move on to the minifigures. Overall, it's a pretty great set. I love the details they added on. Alright, so starting us off with probably one of the most important minifigures to this set is Doctor Strange, and he is decked out with his Cloak of Levitation, which I believe uses a new kind of more fabric-y cape piece, and then the more papery, very short piece that they use, kind of the vampire part that goes up on the side of your head. And he's got this new great hair piece that I'm pretty sure was first used for Bruce Wayne from the Lego Batman movie. As you can see, he's got his little necklace right there, and it has the time stone in there. Don't know why it's blue, but it is. So he's got a lot of great detail on his torso and his legs. I really like it. And he does have an alternate face. This is kind of the more serious face. And then his alternate is a grimace. That's kind of the typical thing, a serious face and a grimace for these superheroes. He does have some printing on the back, kind of his belt and his robes. So this is a really great minifigure. I'm very happy to finally get my first Doctor Strange, because I never got the one from the actual movie. And he is able to use these kind of splat pieces to represent the shields that he conjures up. I was kind of sad that they didn't give you a special printed piece like they did for the first Sanctorum set, because that kind of takes the iconicness away from the minifigure. He does have a smaller one too, so you can give him the small one or the big one, or even both. And next we have Iron Man. He's got his little boost on. which is a really nice little addition. It's kind of this curved 2x1 plate with the holes in it so that you're able to stick these blast pieces in, which is really great. They also include this other blast piece for him to shoot and this other piece. They come with 2 of these and another one of these and another holding piece for him to hold. And I've already shown you Iron Man, so we don't really need to go into depth. As you can see, new face and the HUD. He's got the nice metallic print, and that's pretty much all with this minifigure. And one of my favorite minifigures is Spider-Man. He's got his nice metallic gold print on the torso and on both arms. I'm loving this arm printing. But sadly, going down to his legs, they did not decide to use dual molded legs, which seems kind of strange because I would assume that dual molding costs more money. So if you're gonna dual mold someone's legs, you'd think that you'd put it in a expensive set, which this is the most expensive of the series, instead of putting dual molded legs in a $40 set and $20 set like they did for the Spider-Man Homecoming sets. So it kind of boggles me why they didn't use dual molded legs, because those were just super awesome when it came to Spider-Man. As you can see, he has his big golden arm things coming out of his back, again using this new mold piece. He does not have a new face print. It's the same as Homecoming. And I was kind of disappointed because they used the very bright red plastic instead of a darker red, kind of Iron Man plastic, because this is the Iron Spider, and he is a little bit darker than the actual Spider-Man suit. He does have some back print, which is pretty good. So it's kind of a shame that it's hidden by the spider legs. So yeah, again, the metallic gold prints, which looks awesome. So this is a really great minifigure. And this is Ebony Maw. He is the main bad guy in this set. He's, again, one of the children of Thanos, part of the Black Order, and he was sent to New York to get the Time Stone. So that's basically what's going on here. He's got some nice metallic gold print. I think that's the only metallic on him. He's got a lot of detailed print on the torso, a little bit of print on the legs, and he's got this really ugly print for the face. Coming around, you can see that they do have some print on the back, which is some suggested hair, which I was kind of disappointed that they didn't give him a hairpiece, because he did have a little bit more hair than this in the movie. As you can see, he does have some print on the back, and he does include a power blast for you to shoot at your minifigures. And I don't think that's accurate to the film. He doesn't actually shoot little yellow things out of his hands. So I think that's all with this minifigure. We can move on. And the big fig to the set is Cole Obsidian. This is a pretty great big fig. I love the detailed mold they used for the head and even the little arm pad over here. He has 2 hammers that are connected by a chain, which is pretty accurate to the weapons that he had in the movie. As you can see, he does have some metallic and orange print on the torso, but just like Thanos is lacking the print on the leg, which is a little bit disappointing. And he doesn't have any on the back. It's kind of funny because if you take a closer look, they use different color plastic for the kind of shoulder part of his body, and the lower part is more of a darker gray. So I think that's pretty much all with this big fig. We can go ahead and head out to the end of the video. Alright guys, we have finally made it through all of the LEGO Infinity War sets, and that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had a fun time putting it together. And if you enjoyed it, please leave a like and comment below what your favorite set of all these were. And if you enjoy my content and want to see more, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy it. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. Time to put all the Infinity Stones onto the gauntlet. So first we have the Power Stone. Second, the Space Stone. Third, the Reality Stone. Fourth, Soul Stone. Fifth, the Time Stone. And finally, last but not least, the Mind Stone. So here's the gauntlet finally completed after all of the collecting of the sets. And Now Thanos has the ultimate power.